Hey everyone, so here is another video on lower back pain, and here are going to be some strategies on how to overcome it. So I hope it helps. So when it comes to lower back pain, we need to be able to look at the entire spine and the hips. That's usually going to be the first way to identify any immediate issues. So ultimately, we want to make sure that that spine stays neutral from the top down, and also be able to engage the hips in movement rather than the lower back through movement. We want to make sure that the trunk is stable and we're getting the movement through our limbs, our hips, our knees, all that kind of stuff. So, without looking at formal assessments and everything like that, what we can do is figure out whether or not we're able to keep our spine flat or straight as we move. So we can do a simple hinge, and we can use a foam roller or some type of stick. But we're going to get this foam roller here, we're going to put it along our back here. And ultimately what we're looking for is three things to be touching the roller: our head, our upper back, and our lower back, or our butt area. So as I'm in this position here, I want to make sure that I can keep those 3 points of contact with the roller. And I'm just going to end up bending for my hips here. So I'll come up and down, and I'm just trying to see if I can keep those 3 points of contact with the roller as I hinge. So sometimes you may feel this big rounding in the upper back, so now the lower back isn't touching it. Or sometimes our head may not be able to stay in contact with it, or it may arch up like this, and now my middle back isn't touching the roller. So that's a nice little trick that you can do to see if your spine and your pelvis or your hips are playing together nicely. If it's not working out, one thing I like to do is a hinge stretch. So you can get a roller here. If it's not working out, the normal hinge test by seeing if you have 3 points of contact, you can get a roller here. And just try to hinge by having this roller assist you by taking the arms kind of out of the equation and keeping you extended. Sometimes it helps a little bit to use it on the wall. So I'm just going to keep my butt on the wall as I do this here, as I use the roller to kind of guide me into the position. There are many different ways to learn how to hinge. This is just one tool that you can use to try to get into that position. But ultimately, we want to be able to learn how to get our hips, our lower back, and our upper back to work together, making sure that we have good movement, good mobility in the hips, we have good stability in the lower back, and we have good mobility in the upper back to make sure that we can use those 2 big joints that are above the lower back to help create stability in the lower back. If we have stiff hips or we have a stiff upper back, then the only thing that's going to happen is the lower back is going to have to become more mobile, and then we're going to get some hip or some lower back pain. So I hope that helps you a little bit. Learning how to hinge is going to be a great way, a great first step into overcoming lower back pain.